Hello guys, welcome to another edition of the Amebo Gang show. My name is Nnaemeka. I'll be hosting today. Today we are talking about music in Nigeria, Afrobeat, any kind of music that happens in this country. And with me in the studio today, we have some other guests, like dope people. They will get celeb on set. So I'm going to start from the far left, the star girl, the Sugar Mummy of Ikoyi. Please introduce yourself.
Sugar Mummy.
Sugar Mummy of Ikoyi. I mean, it's one thing to be a sugar mommy, but it's another thing to be a sugar mommy in Ikoyi. And our boss here.
Hi guys, my name is Sleek. Call me the Waviest of them all.
Oh my goodness. The Guinea.
Waviest of them all.
Okay, Waviest. Nne, are you wavy? Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Drama Queen.
The number one drama queen of Instagram. In fact, the drama queen of the whole internet. First of all, let's jump on this one. People will pave way. Julius Berger and the rest. Nigerian music industry. There's been this conversation in the last 2 to 3 weeks. The whole conversation about pace setters in the Nigerian music industry. We saw the interview by Idris where he came out and he was like, "Oh, Burna Boy go talk to nobody people from. That's a stupid talk." Burna clapped back, and then there's also J1. Have you guys noticed they all seem to be picking on Burna?
I think it's because Burna Boy has the best clap back. So they tend to always trigger
I
him.
think it's because of the character arc of Burna Boy. You know, when Burna Boy started music, that was like, let's say 2012, 2013. We're like, what is this one singing? Like, we didn't understand Burna Boy till they started appreciating him outside.
Exactly.
So you see that stab, that tiny betrayal, that's my people. Like, what did you just say?
On our own street.
The prophet is not recognized in his hometown. Burna Boy held that grudge, and I don't blame him for holding it.
Actually, if you Burna Boy from way back has been this guy that I know send you talk your talk. I know send you like I'm bigger. I'm who I am. So I think everybody just always try to like pick on him and say you guys bend. You get coconut head, and it's that kind of guy that.
You know they agree.
And you know the funny thing about Burna Boy is he's gonna respond to you.
I'm telling you.
Regardless.
And he's going to, and I feel like they know they allow Burna Boy log into your account every time. Anytime when Burna Boy collect food, you go no. You go just see the tweets always end up on Insta blog. Yeah. I just feel like the people managing him are like, no, you're not always going to be on your phone, because if Burna Boy is always with his access to his account, every week now we're going to talk about Burna Boy for Twitter. But then away from the whole Burna Boy focus to the actual conversation about who paved way for who in the industry. So here's what I think. A quick one. We've had different generations of Nigerian music. We've had I'm going to start from like after independence, or probably after the Civil War, the 70s. You've got the Ebenezer Obeys, the Fellas, and the Sonny Ade's doing it in the West. You had Rex Lawson killing it in the Niger Delta and in the Southeast. And in the Southeast, you had Osadebe, Oriental Brothers, Celestine Oku, Tony Jones, a lot of them. And then that generation passed. You came into the late 80s or the mid 80s, and then the 90s, the Chris Okutis, the Felix Liberties, the era that Onyeka Onwenu was star girl, and of course Sonny Ade Fela them the held to in that era too. Osadebe was also there. And then you come into like the 90s. That was when the hip hop era started in Nigeria. You had the Remedies, Plantation Boys, there was Eddie the Don, a lot of them. There was the Kenny's music guys who actually like are part of the kind of like pioneer guys with this thing. And then the early 2000s, the would I call it Clever J brackets, that era, and then the second generation of the 2000s. And then we now have that second generation. That's when Wiz, Davido, Burna them then started coming on board. And then we're now at this particular era. Wiz is still there, Burna is still there, Davido is still there, and then there are new cats, Omale, Rema, shutting down arenas in the world. How are we, after this trajectory, saying that nobody paved it for anybody? Like, how far now? Is that even possible?
It depends on how you see it and how you look at it. For instance, there's what we call doing the work of the Lord. At that point, the case of Idris saying Burna Boy shouldn't say anybody paved way for him is like, truly, you cannot say you gave birth to yourself. The same way you cannot say it's not you that invented music at the end of the day. There were people there before you.
Yeah.
But now these people, they need to be appreciated. At the same time, they don't quite have bragging rights to say I paved way.
I think they have bragging rights. I think they have like take for example, till the Banj and Snoop Dogg did that collab, that Mr. Endowed Remix collab, it was a dream to have somebody say a Nigerian artist would collaborate with. At that point, Snoop was A-list. Snoop has always been
a big
A-list.
deal then.
It was a big deal.
So, still a big deal.
And still a big deal because Snoop is a legend when it comes to music in America and rap, even though he has never won a Grammy. So when you're saying nobody paved way for you, it's people that actually like broke through that threshold. Because they
did, but then at the same time, it's like if we're in an industry,
of course.
If I'm working hard on my own, the industry is growing and developing as each person is putting an input in the industry. But it's very, for now, for instance, you're a host. Who is the best host in Nigeria? Who is the greatest in Africa? The greatest host in Africa?
I would say Trevor Noah.
Okay, now Trevor Noah doesn't have any direct link or relation to you. Will you now say Trevor Noah paved way for me?
Well,
will you take the success when he starts taking your success personal? Like, I paved way for you. You're like, no, you impacted in the industry, you opened doors for us, but then you cannot say directly you paved way for me.
I think generally Nigerians just like that godfatherism.
Yeah, that's the bragging right
tag.
I actually feel that it's the way all these old guys comes out to say I paved way for you, because look at Don Jazzy.
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody would ever discredit what he has done in the Nigerian music industry.
Exactly.
But when people like Idris comes out to say I did this, I did that, this is you trying to like.
Honestly, I feel most people that do that, they just need a little bit of spotlight back in their life.
No, but I feel like with all these men, their respects, because they pull a lot of weight. Exactly, but they cannot say directly, I raised this person.
It's okay if you're trying to put people on. There's no harm in trying to put people on, but when you're now trying to forcefully attribute yourself, I feel like that's what they're doing.
I don't think
that's what they're doing.
I kind of disagree.
I think issues like
because I'm not hearing them say, oh, you must come and be giving me money from what you make.
Okay, let me paint this scenario. When someone like Wizkid shut down O2 Arena, was like more like the first Nigerian artist to do that. Okay. Now we had other people go on to do the same thing. Davido did the same thing. Rema did the same thing. Now in the process, did we ever see Wizkid come out to say
I was the first person?
But when you want to start talking about the first Nigerian to sell out an arena of that capacity outside of Nigeria, there's no way Wiz cannot be in the conversation.
Exactly, but that's not the conversation we're having.
He's not coming out to make claim now. There was something Rema did before his O2 performance.
Yes.
He made a tweet to thanking Burna Boy. Now imagine if it was more like the old guys and Rema didn't make that tweet. They would have come out to say,
I feel like these old guys.
Exactly. That's because
I feel like these old guys, they fight. They like to
felt
fight.
like I need to do this because someone put me on. Not Burna Boy coming out to say I put you on and you have to respect me. And
but give respect to whom respect.
Sure,
that's my point.
That's just
because
see, there's no problem. There's necessarily no problem of having to give respect to who respect is due.
Yes.
But don't be saying today I've blown today. You want to forcefully now come to me and say, you know what, I put you there and so fucking what? How many other people
how many people are looking for that platform? People are just looking for the slightest, put me on, just 10 minutes of spotlight and I've got to what I want. I'll get my own. We need to appreciate these people at the same time.
Exactly, they've paid their dues.
If one said that the old guys need to get the appreciation, I'm
even surprised there's no award like that in Nigeria.
There is actually no issue. Now the thing is, there's actually no issue if someone comes out to say appreciate me, but it's the way you go about it.
They are not saying
it is like you are trying to chase clout to allow people to remember you. See, I keep saying that nobody needs to go back and say that Don Jazzy has no impact in the industry. Nobody.
We'll tie that person
so
to
you know how if we're gonna do like a comparison with Hollywood music, abroad music, and then Nigerian music. If you notice in VMAs, they always have Video Vanguard Award where they respect Lionel Richie and all these guys.
Yes.
All these guys paved way for them. But you don't see them coming out to say, oh, I dragged Beyonce on this something.
Don't you think that's because they get what is due them recognition? And
when
you also consider,
that's why I'm telling you. I feel like it still burns down on the fact that when they see you is human being mentality. When they see you up there and they feel like they put you on there, they just get Nigerians. They just get angry. Like, I put you up
angry?
there.
You should be
So
happy.
here's what I think. I have a theory. When at the early 2000s, because that's the very era I'm very familiar with. I feel like they didn't get a lot when it comes to royalties, and they did not make a lot of money.
They struggled. These men struggled. These women struggled.
Now, when you made mention of the American music industry, when you talk about that industry, when you go back as far back as the 70s, the 80s, Lionel Richie, about that whole era, they were on solid contract. They got all that was due to them when it comes to streaming and, buying CDs, whatever was involved then. But we did not have that kind of scenario in Nigeria.
Okay, so would you now go ahead and say the reason why older celebrities or older musicians want to put the force on, oh yes, I carry this person.
Oh, you're taking this case like it's a case of bullying. Relax.
No, will you now say that I carry the force that they're carrying is just based on monetary terms?
Something else I think we should also talk about is this whole gist. There's this whole gist on the internet now that Afrobeat is now, is now dwindling. We don't have good music anymore. There's no focus on lyrics. Everybody is just about the money. I mean, has there ever been focus on lyrics in Nigerian music?
No.
Well,
So
we're not John Legend.
I feel like the consumers they are tired.
Tired of what?
I know.
would you say tired, or they genuinely just enjoy the thrill of listening to these things?
I think last few weeks when Joey Akan tweeted and he was talking about the people complaining no good lyrics. I commented and I said that this is something that we've always talked about. Lyrics. Don't worry. When a new song comes out, everybody forgets.
But the funny thing?
Sound
Nigerians, I feel like Nigerians are hypocritical. You're saying no good lyrics, but if you know the number of streams that Odumodu and Shalipapi got for that song cast, and when you compare it to when decent singers like Timi Dakolo would go in the studio, use Holy Spirit inspiration,
Or
buy writer, you bring proper writers and do a properly written song, and no vibe. The Nigerians will not
let me
even
tell
vibe
you,
to it.
Nigerians lyrics, they don't listen to lyrics. So
It's just
it's
vibe.
the tune they like.
If I should talk from a music critic and a former OAP, from my point of view, I would say this thing. If we're going to talk about this topic, we look at the origin of Afrobeat. You get, African music has always been known for our drums, the jolly movement and stuff. We basically make music to be happy and for didactics, not really to convey a message or our feelings. And even if we're conveying our feelings, we don't use too much English. After all, that's not our first language.
All right.
We make it fun. I think one of the Afrobeat music I love is Fuji music, is storytelling. You get, like, slowly they tell you the story, simple English, plain, and there is repetition to like hit a point that they want to pass across. You get, so we cannot definitely say it's not R&B that I'm telling you my heart is twisted in a circle and is exploding and turning to bomb. You get, it's more like there is a pidgin version, and I think our language makes everything light-hearted. That's why it looks like we do not have lyrical depth. But the message we want to pass has been passed at the end of the day. It's like when we talk about, even us as consumers of music, let's compare Odumodu and Dandizi. I think I'll be the first person to publicly compare the two. Look at their lyrical depth. Look at their lyrical depth. If we're going to like put one, check Dandizi's stream. Check Odumodu's stream. We want to dance, we want to jump, we want to go to concerts and like not stress our head and shout and sing. You get, we don't know these lyrics. We know the tune, we know the hook and the chorus. The other ones, we don't really care. So when it comes to streams and live performance, if you are going to a concert and I tell you this artist with a lot of lyrical depth is coming, and then I tell you this one that sang, look at Portable now.
I mean, what was
there is no lyrical depth, but his messages are kind of heavy.
Which message is Portable passing? Because
I think Portable actually passes like a lot of messages, but if you are calm-headed, you would understand it.
Okay, we need to be calm-headed to listen to Portable.
I think
if you look at the undertone
for Portable,
exactly.
Like if you listen to Portable so well, there are there are things that you would be able to relate.
In the talk
you
real
know,
life matters.
real life stuff for people
Forget this
in that place.
Maybe it's because I don't understand.
No, maybe it's because you see that Zazuze and Tony
Because
Montana has blinded your eye to
Because
actually
I'm
see
trying
that
to.
he's conveying a message.
He's conveying a message.
only-
Like, listen,
Okay.
we have also the language barrier.
Mhm.
For
That's
instance,
the
we
thing.
have Jerick. He raps in Igbo,
Igbo.
but that guy spits heavy.
Mhm.
Jerick spits fire. Like, if you translate his songs to English, like, that boy now William Shakespeare. But he conveys it in Igbo, and then that's what we call noise in communication.
Mhm.
Now, most people don't. What's the population of Igbo compared to the whole Nigeria and the whole Africa? It's kind of hard to, like, that's why I commend Yoruba artists and songs that have Yoruba language in them.
Ashake.
They've done so
Ashake
much.
does
They've
it so
pushed
well.
the boundary so crazily that even white people are singing along word for word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
even
me
without
tell
the
you,
meaning,
In
yeah.
this-
Exactly.
the reason why I pointed out Ashake is that Ashake, I'm not Yoruba, but I sabi speak Yoruba because of Ashake.
Song,
And
yeah.
Sheyi vibes.
Mhm.
Sheyi vibes.
Yes.
You don't go show where Sheyi vibe day before. Both Igbo,
I'm not- I'm
Hausa,
not-
person selling suya is singing
I'm
along.
not a big fan of Sheyi vibes. Like I've not paid attention
Language
to him.
barrier though.
That's the thing. But then language barrier is not the case when it comes to people like Ashake, because I remember when we were listening to Konga's song, like I could sing that song from A to Z. Language barrier was not an issue.
Nursery
She
rhyme
gets.
pattern. That's one thing.
So I could sing that thing word to word. Language barrier was not an issue. I just feel like with Sheyi vibes, it's not language barrier. There's a lot of hype around him. I'm just trying. I just one day I told myself, I said one day, one fine weekend when I'm not busy, I'll just calm down and try to understand what people say in Sheyi
I
vibes.
really
Maybe will
think
understand.
if you want to enjoy Sheyi vibes, like go way back to 2019, that 2020, and go and listen to
Oh.
his progress in terms
I
of
think
music.
the only song
That's
I
how
like
you
about
understand
Sheyi
that
Vibes is
this
Bank of
like
America.
this
That's
guy
why we
this
now-
guy, you know, this guy has developed. So whatever you're hearing now, maybe when people say Sheyi vibes is not there. I'm like, go way back to when it was giving
trying
us the
to-
I think
Afro
that's
Afro
when
rap.
we'll talk about
Mhm.
artist branding.
Mhm.
Like Sheyi vibes forgets, like, he has his music, but he has his fan base, and his fan base are these young guys who wants to make it. Who knows that probably with a twinkle of an eye, a lot of things could change for them. That's who Sheyi
Sheyi
vibes
Vibes
is.
is.
A beacon of hope. Somebody that left the trenches.
How I got to know
That's
about
what he
Sheyi vibes
is.
was from the streets.
Thank
From
you.
the streets.
He has
You s-
organic fan base.
People playing his music like
in Lagos, I think we should
not even Lagos, from the street. Wood.
within the southwest. I think it would be unfair for us to push it beyond that boundary, because I don't think anybody listens to Sheyi vibes in Kano. It's
You
true.
sabi the
What's the
language.
It's true.
tendency?
Do you
It's
understand
true.
what he's saying?
It's true. That's the thing. I don't
Well-
think. See, when we talk about language barrier and music, there are people who have pushed that boundary. She mentioned that Shaka has broken that.
Yeah, he
boundary.
did.
You get people like Flavor especially, Fino to a
Fino
very
did
large
it.
extent. They've broken that boundary. So I just feel like while it might be a thing, but I just feel like it's no longer enough as an excuse to not be able to go beyond, because we, like I said, we have people who have pushed beyond this boundary. Sheyi vibes. Well, one weekend, maybe it's this
I
weekend.
just want
I'll
to fight
just-
you as you're saying this thing.
I'm not feeling him. I'm not seeing. There's a lot of hype around
I think
him.
that's a personal opinion,
Yeah.
but let's not
Of course it's
discredit
personal.
Sheyi's vibes.
It's no, I'm not
musical skills
discrediting
and
anybody
credibility.
who is able to just go out there out of 230 million people. You're heard, you're known, you've been able to do your thing, get it to a
Yeah.
commercial level. It's big, it's a big stuff. But I just said maybe one weekend I'll pay attention, just take time. That weekend I Sheyi vibes, I go walk. Sunday I'll start from that 2019 party talk. Then maybe Saturday I'll do the whole recent. But I kind of like his song, that this recent man, this different pattern.
different pattern
And do you know why I like it?
because of the
And I think this is
I
where
feel
culture
like
comes
he
into.
kind of sounds like Burna Boy to me. I
No,
don't
see,
know.
Vibes
do you know when I
sounds like-
started, when I even looked at Sheyi Vibe, there was a collab he did with Fino. I'm like, yo, Fino is on this track. I played it. I loved that collab. So when this different pattern came out, I'm listening to it. It's giving me the intro, the sound is sounding high life.
yeah,
There's a bit of high
that's
life
what it
in it.
does.
And I'm thinking, when I'm listening to that different, I'm thinking, guy, high life did this thing. Oh. Do you get? So that's when cross-cultural collabs happen. That's one of the ways that people artists reach out to the other demography.
We convey our lyrics in a different way. That's what I'm saying. We don't use a lot of English and a lot of, but we pass the message we're trying to pass.
But
That's
do you
what I'm
agree
trying to
with
tell you.
this notion that Afrobeat has gotten to that era where it's like there are no good songs anymore.
Are you? What?
Like a lot of people say,
Maybe fight you. No, don't say that. I hate when I hear this with passion.
People say, we're going to, the whole world is now paying. There's this notion that the whole world is now paying attention to Afrobeat, and you might get
as
to
they
a point.
should.
It's slightly diluted.
But don't you guys? It's diluting. That's the word I was looking for. But don't you guys think that we should be looking at other, genres of music in Nigeria? She mentioned Fuji. I'm thinking there are other types of music in Nigeria.
Like Oja Piano. We're trying as
Oja
like
Piano.
The truth is,
there's
that's Kolaboy.
Somebody
Kolaboy's kind of sound. KC.
That's an
Yeah.
infusion.
Mm-hmm. That's a mixture. That's an infusion. That's true.
And we have trap, Afro trap too.
Afro
Because
trap. Interesting.
It's like,
Name one person that does Afro trap on the mainstream.
what do you think Shali Poppy and Odumodu are doing?
Shali Poppy does trap.
Odumodu most importantly.
Odumodu, I agree.
That's Afro trap on his own. Like
Okay.
I think Bando there. Psycho YP. Them Abuja boys. Them this other guy with dread that sang Dog Eat Dog with Odumodu Black. What's his name? I love that guy so much.
I'm trying to get his name right now.
Even Amari, I think that's her name. Yeah.
Those people what does Black Bones do?
Black Bones.
I don't like that sound. No, I actually really like Black Bones.
I do.
I think he's very creative.
I love his
I respect his creativity. Yeah.
He's
Black Bones is Black Bones.
If Black Bones wasn't born in this generation, he would have probably been sent to an asylum. Lucky for him. At least we're Gen Zs. We're like, all right, that's fine. Like, it's weird, but okay.
I think Black Bones is very, very cool. When I started liking him, there's this ad he did for Emeka Must. No, not Emeka. Before Emeka Must Shine.
Yoke of Love, I guess.
I was like, is this guy crazy? The whole concept was just like he was trying to just recreate the whole thing, and then
the one reason why I like him because he's always trying to dare to be different from everybody else.
Yeah.
He's always trying to bring a new concept apart from Ashake with his baggy jeans and all of that. But him particularly, his artistry is really
psychiatric
nice.
patients, but I mean,
yes, like.
And something else I also wanted us to touch on is this whole, this era that Afrobeat is enjoying. It's not the first time a particular country or a particular demography is enjoying the attention of the American audience. We had reggae. Reggae was big when it was big.
Reggae is crazy.
It's crazy, but it's not as big as it used to be. I mean, make una no kill me, but the reggae of the 80s, the 90s is not the same thing with reggae. I mean, you had probably I'm not paying attention anymore. You had the Lucky Dube was even later. You were talking Jimmy Cliff, Eric Donaldson. There was Bob Marley. At the very top of the chart, at a point in time, topping charts around the world. UB40 was selling out big reggae bands, Jiget, and it's not that big anymore. Afrobeat is now the wave of the moment.
I mean, I think music took a turn generally from reggae. Reggae entered the R&B.
The R&B.
R&B entered the
but
we have now.
But do you notice something about the American music market, which is something that we try to copy, is that they have different types of music, different genres of music, where I mean, if you stop vibing to this one, if you stop vibing to R&B today, you listen to pop tomorrow,
you go to that
hip hop. And do you think Afrobeat has a diversity?
Yes.
How so?
And it's quite obvious.
How
I like the way Afrobeat is hard to differentiate between Afrobeat and Amapiano. That's like one of the sweetest things.
I don't think it's hard. It's quite easy. I mean, there's a fusion, but when you hear an Amapiano sound, say this one Amapiano.
Them Americans and Europeans, they don't know the difference.
I mean, they
look
don't.
At their TikTok
sometimes they don't know
everything. They don't know the difference.
Some people that don't know that Africa is not a country. There are a lot of things they don't know. So,
but I'm not saying this in a degrading manner, though. But at the end of it, I need to specify. At the end of everything, I like that they cannot really differentiate that this is South African and this is Nigerian, and then everybody just like DJ mix. They go from Amapiano to Afrobeat, and we're there and we're vibing. Everybody's acting like they don't know that these are two different things. That's diversity, and then that diversity brought about an infusion in the two.
But I feel that diversity comes from ignorance. For those, let's now talk about those of us who know. An average American knows the difference between hip hop, which is mostly rap, and R&B.
Yeah.
I think we don't have that kind of depth when it comes to diversity.
I think
we're not paying. Flavor was saying something in one of his interviews. We're not paying attention to other types of music on the continent, not just in Nigeria. Don't you think it's time to pay attention, invest more in it, and then push it out too? Because at a point, these Oyibo guys, they will get tired of the whole life.
I mean, I think it's the way you're seeing it, because there are some guys in Nigeria that actually do the love song thingy. Take for example, like Praise. What's this other guy? Rikasani. They do the love thing well. They do the R&B thing well, but the focus is not there. Nigeria.
Do you know why? Do you know why? I feel like why the focus is not there is because that thing is not original to our continent. We had different ways of expressing love via music. Yeah. I mean, Rex Lawson was singing songs like Adure. It's a love song, but he's doing it in a high life pattern. So if we want to diversify, just like what the early guys were doing in Afrobeat, when it comes, they at the point they called it Afro hip hop. The LD them said they're trying to copy the American, but when the attention started coming was when it became original. From that era when they did that Joe remix, Jabless and the rest of them, Jurella, Rugged Man, that song was a stepping stone for Afrobeat in a lot of it. That was like, it was that period that they knew that, okay, we can actually do this thing in our own local language, infuse a bit of foreign this, but just do it purely strictly Nigerian. I feel like if we want to diversify, we should look for other types of music in Nigeria, other genres of music within Africa, diversify.
Name 5 genres of music in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, I know Fuji, I know Juju, I know High Life. There's this Ojapiano.
Fuji, Juju, High Life. Those are from the West. What has heard
is High Life from the West?
I was just about to point
High Life, is it no?
High Life is from Ghana.
Bongo music.
I was just about to point out about.
Wait, High Life is from Ghana.
High Life is from Ghana.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Are you serious?
High Life was exported from Ghana. Like Ghana is.
I think they still have that issues with us when Nigeria claimed that.
Give me a sample of the High Life song.
Typical High Life. Let's see Osadebi Oriental Brothers.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we borrowed it.
No,
does Nigeria really borrow anything?
So we refined it.
The way we borrowed them.
Refined that.
Yeah, we refined it.
The brief history. Ghanaians who were in Nigeria, it was Aba actually. They were living there before the war, and they played music, and a lot of guys in the East loved it. And Nigerians, as Nigerians would want to do anything they touch, they refine. So the guys there, that's why it's mainstream in the East, because the people who they brought it from Ghana.
Because I would have said High Life is basically an Eastern kind of music.
It is at this point. It is though. They've mainstreamed it to a point.
Every Igbo wedding you go for, every traditional or chieftaincy, we have them money, bro. Yeah. We have them with their band there.
Exactly.
So I mean, with Colombia.
I think there's segregation in this music thing, because
they're
always segregating those Hausa music to those Malams that used to have radio.
I think it's so halal that at the end of the day, there's nothing so halal, like. Without the foul language, without the objectifying of exactly.
Actually, there are northern rappers. I remember when I remember when Vector did his King Kong, and he had like a lot of rappers, and a particular guy from North was on that track. I can't remember, but they have good rappers. But it's just like how we have rappers in the East, and many of them don't want to leave their zone to come out.
Conversation. So why should they have to leave their zone to come to Lagos?
Audience, you want streams, you don't want streams.
If you truly want the audience, you have to leave. Look at when Omale broke out from PH. He still had to leave PH and come to Lagos. The only person right now that is saying no, someone saying just like Odmodu saying, I don't want to leave Abuja. That's because like Abuja has this backing. Like, guy, we deal with you. We deal with you.
Will you live where you're eating? You cannot live from where you're eating. I
don't blame when artists
let me give you a typical example from someone in our faces now. There's Collar Boy. I don't know if you guys know him very well. Collar Boy is in this. He's making music. A lot of the kind of songs that Collar Boy make is for that Eastern audience.
Yeah.
So why should Collar Boy leave the Eastern?
But one of his song off his EP, like Blue, and which was the Ojapiano flute that went viral. So imagine from the East having that song in Lagos, and imagine if at that time if Collabo said, okay, let me go to Lagos, let's experiment it, let me feature this guy.
What exactly is he coming to Lagos to do? I want to understand.
So let me explain something for you. This entertainment industry that we are in now is an industry of personality and people. Most importantly, let's leave the financial aspects like that. It's an industry of creativity, and two heads are obviously better than one. I bring this idea and you're like, I have something like this but it's half baked, and you bring your own and we're like, this makes good sense. Okay, now let's form a split. Okay, you take 60, I take 40, I bring this, I bring that. It's an industry of connection.
Exactly.
So there's limited resources at that side, and their buying power is not as heavy as Lagos. Now they are willing to spend on entertainment. The East, they have to eat first. They have politics that they are really, really like fighting for before we now say we want to do music.
I'm telling you, see, I feel like Lagos has brought that, because you can see somebody that can spend his last money going to Obi's house or his last money going to the club, because that's what Lagos promotes.
But then Lagos is the capital of entertainment in Nigeria, and you know, obviously the capital is the powerhouse. Most of the equipment we need are here. Most of the people, most of the investors, I've not seen any, like Empire Music now, they came to Nigeria for a collaboration. Did you see them enter Ogun State?
It's Lagos.
Did you see them go to Anambra?
Should it be like that?
They came to Lagos.
My point is,
ask for
go to
artists.
where the market is,
my point
because
is, it shouldn't be
exactly
like that.
it is where the market
How
is.
should it be?
Numbers.
I mean, look at
because you cannot say it cannot be like that and not like offer a solution. Like, okay, this is the structure.
Okay,
that
so
we
here's my
achieve
solution.
that.
I was watching an interview that Duncan Mighty did with the BBC one time. I think it was in 2021. In that interview, Duncan Mighty talked heavily, and I think he's the most famous advocate of not moving to Lagos when it comes to Nigerian music.
Because he's a proud Port Harcourt boy.
And he made his hits from Port Harcourt, and he went viral, Nigeria, worldwide. Now, Duncan Mighty was saying something. Part of the reasons why the industry in the East in particular, because that's one place that after Lagos you can think of that has an industry, is not growing there, is because of lack of investment. Dr. Mighty was talking about having an idea of, bringing big shots together from that part of the industry to build something. There's a market there. And unlike what you might want to think, Fino said something in his interview, one of his interviews recently. He said, there are most high life artists in the East eat more than the people that are popular in Lagos. And he's not saying it from an outsider's perspective. He's in the industry. They go to more shows. Like you said, when they have weddings that are there, whereas they get paid more, but they're not that popular. So it means there's capital there, there's market there, there's an industry there. And that's why I feel it's not being tapped into enough. So I actually kind of think like, you don't necessarily have to. Everybody should have a certain demographic that they attend to, because you can't do everything. You're not Michael Jackson. You can't do A, you can't do B. It's not everybody that will have that global appeal. Some certain artists, they attend to a demographic, and it's fine. It's where you're big.
But will it be fine with people? Because you are the ones that are going to be dragging them. Now we have
I don't do
metrics. We have metrics for measuring which artist is big and which artist is not big. For the past 2-3 years, it's been like top 10. Who is on the streams? Who is gathering more streams? Who is gathering more numbers? Who are they shazamming their song the most? We don't give the other artists credit enough. We don't give credit first, even before that a chance. Because most people are doing well in the East. Most people are like, let's talk about Eriga now. When it comes to streams, I don't think, for the past, I would not say a year, because I don't know, when he dropped his album, he entered the top 10 charts. You get some of his songs from the album entered that chart, but you would not say Eriga doesn't have more power or more like fan base than some of your A-list artists in Nigeria.
Mention one person that you think Eriga has more fan base than.
I'm not going to subject myself to dragging online. First of all. Secondly, Eriga has, why are we talking about lyrical depths? Eriga has crazy lyrical depths that most artists, I did not say some, most artists in this Nigeria, Eriga gets both in English and Pidgin. Eriga will butcher you.
Eriga is
you get. He has his fan base back in the East, Port Harcourt,
Delta.
Exactly.
Benin, these 3 places.
Exactly. So we have those people there that have their fan base, but we are measuring them based on metrics. We are not going to like tell them, oh, I come to your show or come to my shows because they are not on the top 10. They are not trending online for getting somebody pregnant.
It's almost as if I kind of agree with her. It's almost as if we're saying the people there in that part who stream music are not important. The people there who consume music are not important.
And in the East, let's not forget, I'm from Owerri.
Okay.
But you see, if I check my Instagram, most of my followers are Lagos based. Owerri gave me my platform.
Right.
Owerri, I was an OAP in Owerri. I was quite popular in Owerri. While I was popular in Owerri, I had 700 followers on Instagram.
Incredible.
One thing in Lagos, one thing. I have like above 100,000 followers. You ask me why those people there don't use Instagram. They don't even stream songs. If it will shock you that it's still DVD that is selling in that place. It's still like they don't stream like that.
What do you think
there.
is responsible for that?
Development.
Would you use that word?
Yeah, I would.
It is your government.
It's not government.
Government has nothing.
Let me
I
tell
would
you.
say Owerri entertainment industry, like the entertainment industry in the East is at least 5 years behind. You see the place where Lagos was around 2017, 2018. That's where the East is currently in. And they are struggling, they are trying. I will not discredit that.
I don't even think it's 5 years, man. There's a lot of years behind because...
No, let's say 5 years. I don't calculate them, don't worry. 5 years.
Okay, let me agree with you that it's 5 years. There's a lot that needs to be done in that part of the country when it comes to entertainment. So this has been an amazing show. We've talked about a lot of stuff. Music, pace setters, I pave way for you, I know pave way for you, Julius Berger, the rest of them that have been constructing ways and constructing roads. It's been an amazing conversation, guys. We'll do this again next week. Make sure to tune in to see your favorite Amebo Gang. And we had an amazing time in the studio. The only drama queen of Instagram, the one and only. Every other one, photocopy. The one and only drama queen of Instagram was here. We had Sleep. We had the Sugar Mummy of Ikoyi.
Come on.
Don't play.
Don't play.
All right, guys. See you next week.